Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Knicks Deli, baby.
Knicks Deli Edition.
I'm your host, Sheer, and we got a lot to get into. I know it's football Sunday. I already know that, okay? I know it's football Sunday, but we're here. We're here. And we're going to get this Knicks Deli in. We're going to get this Knicks Deli in real quick, okay? So at halftime, check the video. I'll try not to be super long, but we will do it Knicks Deli Edition style.
Knicks Deli Edition.
Okay? If you're here and new to the channel, I want to thank you. Do me a favor really quickly. Hit that like button. Throw that thumbs up. Leave a comment at the end if you enjoyed the show, if there's anything else you want to see. But if you're new to Knicks Deli, there's only 4 items on the menu. The first item on the menu is the bacon, egg, and cheese. And the bacon, egg, and cheese is a classic sandwich. It's the best thing in New York, okay? So we look at the 3 key elements of a bacon, egg, and cheese, the bacon, egg, and the cheese, all right? And in terms of our Knicks, who were the 3 elements? Who were the 3 players that when put together, that thing was busting? So we're going to look at who is the bacon, egg, and cheese today. Next on the menu is what we call the dollar slice. Everybody knows that New York has the best pizza in the world. And the pizza is stability. It represents stability in New York. So in this game, we're going to ask who was the player that was the stabilizing factor with their contribution that helped us get this victory last night. Next, we look at the chopped cheese. Now, the chopped cheese is relatively new to that New York menu, but that thing be busting. So we're going to talk about who is the chopped cheese of the game. Who, with their contribution, relatively new, but helped us get over the top. And lastly, you can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the dollar slice. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese if you ain't got nothing to wash that thing down with. And here in New York at Knicks Deli, we call that the quarter water. So the quarter water is somebody that you had a contribution to one particular quarter or a little bit over a period of quarters that helped us secure this victory and get this win. And then we're going to look at who was the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game.
Nah, son, nah, you wildin'.
And that's when somebody says something or does something to make you look at the camera sideways and say, nah, son, nah, you wildin'.
Nah, son, nah. You wildin'.
All right, then we're gonna mix that thing up, and then we're gonna look at the final item on the menu that was just added for 2024, and we call that the glizzy of the game. Hey yo, it's right. So that's when somebody's talking something reckless. This ain't something sideways that makes you look at them and be like, yo, listen, you gotta shut up. But sometimes you just can't be rude. You just gotta shut them up by putting something in their mouth. And you know, here in New York, it's the dirty dog. So what better thing to add to the menu, all the way at the end of the menu, to give somebody who just won't shut the F up than the glizzy of the game.
Hey, yo!
All right, and then we're going to tie this thing up, but I'm going to let you get back to your football. After this, we're going to do this real quick. So let's start first. Who is the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese here at Knicks Deli this morning? I want to give you guys an opportunity to drop this bomb for Julius Randle. Listen, y'all going to have to stop playing with Julius. I'm talking to you fans. I'm talking to us fans. Because listen, the ops, we don't care. The ops already know that we circling the block.
We spinning the block.
They already know that we're at the point now where we're circling the block and we spinning the block. And it's scary hours for the league right now. Don't be like Stephen A. Smith. Don't be in that same situation that Stephen A. Smith is on, where you're going to be caught on the outside looking in the window saying, yo, could you let me in? Could you let me in? Because we ain't doing that no more. You'll be lucky if you don't get caught in a crossfire. Julius went out there and dropped 39 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds on the Washington Wizards last night. You know, that Stephen A. conversation that he had in the summertime, y'all remember that sit down? I remember that sit down. He sat down with Julius. I think it was during or after a preseason game, one of those times. But he sat down with Stephen A. and Stephen A. tried to butter him up. Yo, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got the 3-pointers, and I know you got the 3-pointers. But what happened to that bully ball? You know, we used to go in and bully and just that and third. And Julius looked at him and he said, it's ironic that you said that. It's ironic that you said that because I was looking at my game at the early part of this summer. And I committed that I'm going to get back to that bully ball style. He said that in the sit down with Stephen A. in the summertime. And it's so interesting, and it's kind of good, and it's also inspirational to see somebody say, you know what, I have to take a look at myself and think about what are the ways in which I can improve, and then identify the area in which you can improve, and you enact it. You actually put it into action. You take it from theory and you take it to practice, and you see the results of it. How good does that feel? I can only imagine how good does that feel. Those are my aims and those are my aspirations for this year. How do you take something from theory and you put it into practice so you can see the results? And it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of working behind the scenes. It takes a lot of adjustments. It takes a lot of humility. And all of that is what Julius has displayed this season. And it was just so cool because Walt Frazier asked him that same question after the game. He said, Julius, listen, man, I've been out, bro. And when I've come back in, what has taken you from being focused and fixated on the 3-ball to just getting back in the lane with that contact and doing that? And Julius says something profound. And this is where you know that the man has found his glow. You know that Leroy glow from The Last Dragon? Julius has found it. He sat there, he said, Walt, Clyde, listen, I looked at my game and I realized that all of the gifts that I've been given, stop playing. That man said, all of the gifts that I've been given, I have good footwork. I'm a big guy. I play with force. I'm nimble. I could finish. I'm versatile. And I realized that I wasn't using all of those talents. So what happens if I stop trying to do those things that, I need constant work on and just fixate on the things that I've been gifted with? And that's what you see materializing on the court. I've locked in and focused on all the things that I've been given as a gift to play this game. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, listen, now is the time to capitalize on this moment. Now is the time to capitalize on this moment. This man understands who he is in this league. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why Julius Randle is an example of let a young player cook. Let a young player cook. Let a young player figure out who he is in this league and what his strengths and his weaknesses are, what his advantages are that he can leverage in this game. Julius Randle is an example of that. Kristaps Porzingis is an example of that. Give them an opportunity to find themselves in this game and let them cook. Let them cook. So it's interesting now. Also something that was key is that this 39 points that he dropped was a clean bounce back game. Very clean. And all these, this is so crazy. All these anti-Julius, people, and prognosticators, all this, who say, oh, yeah, he dropped that on the Wizards. He couldn't drop it last night. Listen, you have no excuse. This man has been dropping numbers all season. So this bounce back game was just an additional point that, this is not a fluke. This is now Julius. This is now King Julius Caesar. Thumbs up now. You know what I mean? This is who he is. And this is what he does. Okay? Now, I know people talk about, listen, we understand what he's doing in the regular season, but it's the playoffs. The whole team and the coach got something to prove for the playoffs. But I tell you this much, all of you people who have this PTSD from that Trae Young in the Atlanta Hawks season, okay, and all of those people who point at that season, and say that I don't know if I gotta. Damn, do I got the? Let me turn that off. Oh Lord, I'm not trying to auto tune on my joint. I apologize if y'all hear something like the auto tune on there. I'm not trying to do that. Hold on for a second. All right, I'll keep it. If I auto tune, call me T-Pain. All right, but listen. I hear all that about the playoff stuff, but we ain't in the playoffs. That ain't there right now. Y'all are looking for a reason not to give this man his props. And that's unfair. All right? So let's take each step as we go along and get better. Hold on, let me turn this off because this is I do not want auto-tune. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna have to roll with it. There we go. Okay. So I don't even know what happened there. But yeah, so Julius, that's ultimately what it is. Okay? And then honestly speaking, the MVP chance in DC. Hold on, let me turn this off. What is happening? There we go. Testing. There we go. All right. Okay, let me see. Bounce that back out a little bit. All right. There we go. So, just shout out to all Knicks fans who traveled to DC yesterday and showed Julius love with the MVP chance. It was a great win, and it was an exciting win, and it's something that we need to get accustomed to because this looks like who we are. This looks like who we are. So do me a favor, give a round of applause. Let me drop a bomb for Julius Randle, the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese sale. All right, now who is the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese? And of course, you can't have the bacon without the egg, baby. And once again, y'all gonna get tired of this bacon, egg, and cheese because it keep coming up stellar and it keep coming up consistently. And who else would it be than Jalen mother flipping Brunson? Yo, your all-star point guard, your all-NBA point guard, the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them lie to you. Go out and vote. Actually vote. Go to NBA.com. Even log off of this. I don't care. Go out and vote. Let's get our guys in there. If nothing else, go out and do your best to vote. And then once the fan voting is over, the coaches better recognize. Because if the coaches don't recognize, they straight hating. But we don't know. Listen. Go out and vote to these guys into the All-Star game. I want to see our guys. But the egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese today is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson had 33 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. I'm telling you, man, these cats hear what's being said. They hear what's being said. And like I said on Twitter, follow me on Twitter as well. Like I said on Twitter, Jalen Brunson says nothing. He lets his game do the talking. His game sends the highest and loudest message that it could ever send. And that's something that I absolutely love about our point guard. Folks, we got a point guard. Not only a point guard, but we got a dominant point guard. I'm telling you, man, it's so funny, man. Like I was listening to the post-game comments from Wes Unseld Jr., after the game. And I always love listening to the ops, man. The ops will tell you who you are. When you have this inflated idea of who you are, listen to the ops. Sometimes they'll point out, where your flaws are. And there's sometimes when they point out where they just can't stop you. And in this instance, their coach was just like, yo, listen, he is tough to guard. They said he'll take that 3-point shot and you can't play him by going under the screen, or you can't go under the pick. You got to try to guard him. You got to try to stay with him. He was just like, he plays on the outside or play inside. He'll post you up. He'll hit you with that footwork. And who else said that? I think somebody else, I think it was Drew Gooden as part of their interview team. He said the same thing. He was just like, listen, man, he's posted up, big guards. Jalen Brunson is at a point where he is unstoppable. And I love that. And you love to hear that from the opposing teams. Once again, he was efficient from the 3-point line. And people will always talk about him being undersized. And I know last night there was a lot of talk about looking at Tyus Jones. I'm a Duke fan, so Tyus Jones is a player who I had an opportunity to watch. But something that was always my challenge, and we didn't really run into too many points of frustration because he was on a team with Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish. But some of my points of frustration is that he was a super small guard. So it always puzzles me when you guys talk about him being an upgrade, bringing him in. Listen, we already got Deuce. Let Deuce grow. But he's a tiny guard, man. So, and you know that difference when you bring in your backup, or sometimes if you want to play them together, you leave that as no option for him to play side by side with Julius Brunson, both of them being as small as they are. And when he had moments when he was guarding Tyus, Tyus Jones was guarding Jalen Brunson last night, like he was taller than him. He was taller than Tyus. So I don't know about that. But I say, in terms of defense, man, Jalen Brunson's leading and taking charges. That is defense. And I don't want to take a poke at Julius, man, but every time I watch a game and I see Jalen Brunson fearlessly step in front of one of the bigs that are driving the lane or one of the guards that are driving the lane, and he take those charges, he'll come up with a black eye. He don't care. And then I see Matador defense sometimes performed by Julius. I'm like, yo, bro, either give that foul or take that charge. Like, why are you just giving them the clear lane to the basket? But also I understand that he is really another part of the engine. And if he gets early fouls, then it, puts us as a team in a bad position. But still, get there in time and get the charge and it won't be a foul. So Jalen Brunson, once again, is just an all-star, a flat-out superstar. He's a flat-out superstar. And something that's also I'm noticing is he is not getting the calls. And that's something else at this point that we got to start looking at. Is he starting to get superstar calls? And I think that is what Tibbs is pushing. Tibbs, and it's not just that you get those calls, a slight touch. He's getting fouled. So Tibbs voicing his concern about missed calls on Jalen Brunson is absolutely critical, because he's at the point now where they're going to have to start, in terms of the referees, they're going to have to start watching film on him closely. He is so dynamic in what he does in terms of his variety of offense that they miss a lot of calls because they don't expect that. No other player plays like that. So Jalen Brunson, right now we're watching the ascension of Jalen Brunson into superstardom. So pay attention, Knicks fans, it's happening. And Julius Randle. I said maybe some point last season, I said Jalen Brunson is already a superstar and he's on his way to taking Julius Randle with him. This is it. This trade goes a long way in helping clearly define Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson as superstars. I mean, don't laugh. And we continue to talk about who's going on the trade block or whatever. The only way I see Julius Randle getting traded in this iteration of this era is if Giannis says, I want out and I want New York. That's it. It ain't gonna be for Embiid. It ain't gonna be for Embiid. Embiid is too injury prone. I know Leon loves him and I know he's an MVP player. But even the other night he was hobbling. And we can't listen at that point. He doesn't seem to be durable. He doesn't seem to take care of his body enough to have another 5 years. For me, it's tough kind of seeing how long his window is going to be open. You see no slowdown with Giannis. Giannis is going tit for tat with Wembanyama. So in terms of Julius is right there with Jalen Brunson. If Jalen Brunson hits superstardom, Julius is going to be with him, especially going into his third year where he's in high consideration for All-Star Game and All-NBA. So, listen, Jalen Brunson has come in and he has changed a lot of things. And superstars do that. And one last point I want to make about Jalen Brunson that I was super happy to see, not only was he perfect from the free throw line, I have to double check that. I'm not sure if he was perfect. I think he was. But he's going to take the technical foul free throws. Somebody had to talk to Julius and say, bro, stop doing that. You are not him. So I drop a bomb for Jalen Brunson, who is our egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese. And lastly, let me go into who is the cheese. And y'all already know. Listen, y'all already know. The New York Knicks, it is scary hours for the league right now. Because when you have our dominant center, money-making Mitch, who is on a historic pace defensively, who is on his path to be in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year, go down. And everybody is kind of like looking from afar, thinking, good, because we know they were on their way. They were coming. No, we still coming. Pause. We still coming right now, okay?
Ayo!
Ayo is right. And Ayo, the reason for Ayo is Isaiah Hartenstein. The cheese of today's bacon, egg, and cheese. Oh yeah, I got the Niners gear on, baby. Don't even watch that game. We ain't starting nobody. We getting ready for our first round bye as the #1 seed in the NFL. Hate it or love it. Yeah, I know I'm from New York, okay, but this is my squad, okay? That's all I'm gonna say about the Niners. Let's go, Niners, okay? Let's go. Isaiah Hartenstein, and it's appropriate that I got on the red because Isaiah Hartenstein is the Red Bull. So we're going to talk about the Red Bull today. Yo, this man, 19 rebounds. Come on, y'all. 4 steals, 2 assists, 8 points, 2 blocks. What I absolutely love, listen, there was a point in time where they interviewed DiVincenzo. And DiVincenzo made this comment. They said, listen, man, how does it feel to be part of this team and everybody's clicking and you guys are winning? He says it's so interesting. He said everybody in the starting lineup is different. They all have different individual games, but we just work so well together. And he was just like, everybody is unique in what they bring and everybody is versatile and good at what it is that they do. And somehow it just works. And this is exactly the case with Isaiah Hartenstein. I keep telling people, don't think that they don't hear what you're saying. Media, social media, Knicks media, don't think that they don't hear what it is that you're saying. They take it personally. They take it personally. They hear the naysayers. You know, they hear all of that. They hear the comparisons. Knicks fans, do me a favor, please. Okay? Whether or not you think Isaiah Hartenstein's game and everything looks better with the second unit, all right, fine. You in the middle of the season talking about trading away Mitch? You don't think Mitch is at home? Mitch loves the fans and the fan engagement. You don't think that man was the only one that gave comments on the players getting traded to Toronto. Those players still haven't acknowledged us. Still haven't sent words of appreciation or anything like that. I know they focused. I know they're getting their game on or whatever have you. Still, none of the players. Obi didn't look back and say, what's up? They ready to be the ops. And watch, all of y'all, you know what? They ain't give you no type of props, but when they come to the Garden, you going to give them a standing ovation. Not me. I'm going to look at them sideways like,
This bitch!
and keep it moving. They the ops now. But when it's okay if they're the ops, if they're on the opposite team wearing the opposite jersey. Why are you making people currently on the team the ops? Your superstar the ops. Your defensive juggernaut center the ops. Why are we doing that? Oh, you know, Hartenstein is he's gonna leave, you know, because he's going. Yo, are you serious? Y'all it's crazy. Y'all crazy. Y'all talking crazy. Like Mitch ain't coming over and feeling a certain way about what y'all saying. It's just blasphemous to me, man. And I know I'm at 23 minutes. I wanna make sure I keep this tight because football is on right now. But y'all gotta stop with these comparisons, bro. Every time we look around and we're in the middle of a 4-game win streak. And the one thing that everybody wants to do is continue to talk about who are possible trades. Why Mitch is not it. This man is the reason why we are where we are right now. Anyway, listen. Everyone hears what they're saying. But what Isaiah Hartenstein continues to do is to block out the noise. He brings energy. He brings swag. He's continuing that legacy of dominance on the inside that Mitch started for us this season. That's why the Red Bull is continuing to bully everybody that he comes up against him. He takes on all of the challenges. And I love it, man. He comes with that New York spirit, bro. He got that New York energy and that New York confidence, and I love it. So round of applause, and let's drop a bomb for our guy, Isaiah Red Bull Hartenstein. All right, I want to get ready to wrap this up real quick. So the dollar slice goes to our guy, OJ Anunoby. All right? Now, OJ only had, OJ.
This bitch.
Yo. OG Anunoby only had 9 points. But once again, he had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Also, his plus minus continues to be off the chain. I think he was plus minus 11 today. But you watch the game and you see the impact of OG Anunoby. You watch the game, you watch the film, and you see why it's scary hours for the rest of the league. They see it. It's not going to be on the stat sheet. They're pouring over the stat sheet. They're looking at OG Anunoby and they're like, okay, I don't see. You see how active he is. When you are in the passing lanes and he's disrupting passes, or he's knocking away float passes, you see his impact on the game. You know, the same thing with Isaiah Hartenstein blocking alley-oops. You see their defensive impact. You see his danger written on the sleeve of his jersey when Tom Thibodeau can now put him on a Tyrese Maxey. Or Joel Embiid. Or Kyle Kuzma. Fill the name out. Any name you put in there, he can guard. It's problematic. It's one of the missing ingredients that we had now. We've gone from allowing 140-something points in a game to under 106 points a game. So it's key, and the man could hit a key three-pointer when needed. We're in a good space, y'all. We're in a good space, yo. This man is key. A couple of other things that just stand out because it's so funny. I hear some people on Knicks Twitter, you know, will be like, yo, listen, you know, he ain't going to keep going these games with Tibbs leaning on Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. You know, he wants to score. Some of the people who saw him kind of come over and leave Toronto on the Toronto side said, you know, he left because he said he didn't play as big a role as he wanted to offensively in their offense. In my opinion, my thing was, I think he may wanted more touches, but he knew they weren't going nowhere. So he needed a reason to want out. But also they were saying that the rumors were, as he was telling his agent, listen, if the destination is New York, I'll even take a little bit less to re-sign if I'm going there. Okay? So you know he's coming in. He don't want to make no waves. He don't want to ruffle no feathers right now. He's sitting back. He's seeing what the flow is. He's seeing what's required. He's seeing what everybody can do. And if he felt as if, listen, I'm needed, my services are needed because these people can't do it, then I'm sure he'll go to the coach and let him know. But that's not the case. I think right now he's filling it out and seeing where he could fit in to best complement this team to help them reach their goals. And anytime you're winning, that solves all ills. So once again, I got to remind Knicks Twitter, yo, stop it. Oh, you know he's going to one out because he ain't going to resign. He a free agent. He's going to one out. Once again, they ball hogging the ball. Yo, listen. Yo, just be quiet, yo. just let it rock. Just let it rock. Just be quiet. A couple other things I want to point out, man. The fact that this man is serious. When Tom Thibodeau talks about you being serious, you got to love that. He said he's serious. And he's a worker. He comes in, he gets his work done. Knicks fans, you expecting this guy to be Emmanuel Quickley. Y'all are looking for him to bring that same level of Emmanuel Quickley energy to the floor when that man is more like Charles Oakley. And it's so, because I hear from the young fans. Young fans are looking for Quickley Older fans recognize Charles Oakley energy when they see it. I'm coming in, I'm taking care of business. Nah, you're not going to see no smile, but you're going to see this effort. You don't understand that that man was playing behind Kawhi Leonard? When Kawhi Leonard went there for 1 year and won a championship? You don't think that was mentored? You don't think he was inspired by that? So I want to give a special shout out and round of applause to our dollar slice, OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby. Okay? All right, who is next up? Who is the chopped cheese of the game? Who is relatively new to that New York menu, but that thing be busting? And that chopped cheese today is going to go to Dante DiVincenzo. I'm going to give a special flex bomb for Dante DiVincenzo. Shit, Master Flex, I know I'm overdoing it. I don't care. My applause button ain't working today. So when it comes to Dante DiVincenzo, man, listen, you can't look at his stat line and ask me why I put him here. It's not about his stat line. It's about his stat line since he's been inserted in the starting lineup. Listen, ever since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, teams cannot play zone against us. They can't play zone against us. Now that we also have OG Anunoby in the starting lineup, teams cannot play zone against us. Whether you're looking at Hartenstein right now, whether you're looking at Randall, whether you're looking at Brunson, whether you're looking at OG or DiVincenzo, you think none of them could hit a three-pointer? And we've been making them pay. 13 threes last game. You can't play zone against us. That's the difference in the impact that a DiVincenzo brings to the team. Okay? He's a three-point threat. He's a zone buster. This is something that we haven't had. Listen, if we would have had this in Atlanta, we would have been in the conference finals. All of you playoff people, all of you playoff PTSD people, understand that the New York Knicks have retooled. And they're coming back with reinforcements to the playoffs. If a Julius can't come in, and he has a bad game, we still have a chance to win. So stop getting fixated on that singular story of expecting what you expect from Julius. Understand we're a team. We're moving as a team right now. This is what it is that we bring to the table. And this is why it's scary hours for the league. And the league is noticing it. They even asked Kyle Kuzma last night, like, what is it about the New York Knicks that you guys think maybe you can do and add so that we can find success in Washington? He said, listen, we try to do everything that the New York Knicks are doing. We just don't got the personnel. We were there. We were there. Yo, when he said that, I was just like, yo, I mean, it felt good to hear him say that. But I remember being there. But we were looking at the other teams like, man, yo, listen. I mean, every season that Tibbs has been here, we've overachieved. And that's a good thing. That shows his coaching ability. But when you're overachieving and you get eliminated in the first round or the second round, that's when you're trying, and only because you don't have the talent, you got there on effort and discipline and defense. We were trying to be like other teams. We just didn't have the personnel. We got the personnel now. DiVincenzo is one of the personnel now. Oh, you kind of delusional. You talking crazy. You know he's a role player just holding that spot for whoever they trade for. Listen, how you going to disrespect a man who backed up Steph Curry? How you going to disrespect a man who backed up Steph Curry and learned from Steph Curry for the time that he was in Golden State? How you going to disrespect a man who was a key part to the season when the Milwaukee Bucks won a ring? He just didn't have the opportunity to play and see it through in the playoffs. How you going to disrespect that man? How you going to disrespect that man that's won at every level that he's been at? Villanova, multiple time champion. How you gonna disrespect that man? So listen, even when the ops talk about it, it's crazy. And I love also what he said, just to go back to that comment where he was just like, yo, listen, everybody on this team got different games, but we're making it work. And the key part that's been making it work, and it's been extra obvious since OG has been on this team, is everybody's openness and willingness to cut as part of the offense. Cut through cut in this offense. And he's a key component to that as well, because he learned that from Steph Curry. Cut, move, and be ready to make a move when you get the ball. Quick release, Steph Curry. Come on, man. Shout out to Leon Rose. Shout out to them Villanova boys and Jalen Brunson. Because we talk about shout out to Leon Rose, but Jalen Brunson is running this organization. I'm going to make a video on that. And if you hear anybody else say it, I think I may have only heard, I don't think I've heard any content creator say it. You heard it here first from Sheer Knicks Deli. Jalen Brunson runs this organization. He got his father on the coaching staff, connected to the front office, godfathers or people he look at as father figures on the coaching staff. He done brought his whole squad with him from college. Jalen Brunson runs this organization. But shout out to the chopped cheese today, Dante DiVincenzo. Now, really quickly, who's the quarter water of the game? And the quarter water of the game goes to Quentin Grimes. I just want to give him a shout out. He didn't have a huge stat line. He had 6 points, but he was 2 for 4 from the 3-point line, 50%. And once again, I think the thing that is just overwhelming when I'm looking at him play these last few games is his comfort level and the feeling that he's playing with purpose and that he's part in contributing to what the team's goal in the end game is going to be. I think he feels involved, and that's key for any player or anybody on a team. You just want to feel like you're a part of something. You want to feel like you're involved and included. And he'll continue to gain confidence and improve as the season goes along. But it's good to see that young man is getting minutes and he's getting time doing that as well. So shout out to Quentin Grimes, who is the quarter water of the game. And last two I have is the nah son nah you wildin' moment of the game.
Nah son nah, you wildin'.
And they gotta go to that Deuce McBride thunder dunk. Yo boy, that putback was crazy. It was an energy boost as it always is for your team, but the awareness that you have to keep your eyes on the ball as it's careening off of the rim. And the confidence, you got to go up and just throw that thing down. I'm just super proud to see that he's getting minutes. Also, congratulations to you, Deuce, for getting your extension with the New York Knicks. Congratulations to the New York Knicks organization for continuing to put money in your young dudes' pockets, whether it's you as an organization or putting them in a situation where they can get paid the maximum amount that they possibly can get. Congratulations to the New York Knicks, but more importantly, congratulations to Deuce McBride. And lastly, who gets the glizzy of the game?
Hey, yo!
Who gets the glizzy? Okay, glizzy of the game goes to those people who I referred to a little bit earlier. All of you soft part of the schedule people. Okay, all of you. No, this is a separate component. I'm not talking about those people who are trying to trade off our players. I'm talking to you soft part of the schedule people. There's actually people, when the New York Knicks come up about their 4-game winning streak after this trade and whether or not this means something or it doesn't mean something, there's a lot of people who come with that the New York Knicks are now, they are at a soft part of their schedule.
This bitch!
The hell are you talking about? Did we not have the toughest schedule in December? And we came out of that with a competitive record, an impressive record. Never blown out in any of those games. taking it down to the wire with most of those teams. You want to talk about our soft part of the schedule now. You wasn't talking about the level of difficulty that we had in December.
This bitch.
I think you need to be quiet. Now, I think only one thing can help you be quiet. So I need you to go ahead. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. I ain't even going to, do however you want to hold it. It don't matter. You just, go ahead. Go. Don't spit that on the carpet. Goes out to all of you soft part of the schedule people. So that's it. That's the end of Knicks Deli, folks.
Knicks Deli edition.
I want to thank y'all for taking the time. I know it is a football Sunday, but I just want to end by saying this. Listen, everybody's talking about the number of minutes that Julius and Jalen Brunson is getting. But y'all got to understand what your coach is doing. Your coach produces all-stars. And I'm telling you that those minute distribution is going to change after the All-Star weekend. Okay? But right now, and up until the point of about January 20th, I think is when voting closes, Tom Thibodeau is going to run those boys until the wheels fall off. Okay? Because he wants to make sure that there is no doubt in terms of their production that they get considered to be on that All-Star team. I'm telling you, that's what it is that he's doing. Tom Thibodeau has historically been able to produce all-stars by giving them the minutes to put up the points. So that's what's happening there. And at the same time, what's happening is that there's a bonding that's taking place amongst this team. It's an identity that's forming in terms of this new style of play with this team. And you're being able to see that the people leading your team has an ability to dominate. And that's when you start fixating and cemented in the role that you play to help get us to where it is we're trying to go. All right? So keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. But always remember this. Whether it's out here in these YouTube streets or NBA Twitter, it doesn't matter. Everybody eats at Knicks Deli. Like and subscribe to the video. Leave a comment below. I'm out. Peace.